time is money, or is money time? See, most people use their time to buy their money, and then they go and get rid of it as quickly as they can, and so they start the cycle again. And that's also the reality that most of us are taught, how to earn money, how to work for money. But truly wealthy living is understanding how to use our money to buy us time. How do we actually use our money to buy services, to have things that free us up so we can do more with our precious time? Because that's truly what a wealthy life is. Having the time to do the things we want to do, with who we want to do it, where we want, and actually have the resources in order to do those amazing things, to use this precious life that we're given and get the most out of it. So we actually realize it's not money we want, it's we need to have assets that can earn us the money. Because if it's just money we're going after, we never break out of that cycle of using our time for the money. So we need to first use the time to create assets, and then assets give us the money and free us up to have the time we want to truly live the wealthy life we want. So just like you can learn how to create assets and get more from your money by being a wealthy spender, really becoming conscious about how you consume your money and are you getting the most from it, we also need to learn how to get the most from our time. Are you a wealthy time user? Are you getting the most from your precious time? And this is another area where people seriously rob themselves and deplete themselves by never learning great time management. I actually don't like that word. Let's call it great time consumption of how do you get the most from your time. So here are 4 ways for you to become a great time consumer, a great time spender to get most from your life. The first one is choosing how to consciously start your day. Do you start your day by choosing you and spending your time first on you and prioritizing you and your life in the way that you spend that time? If you wake up, turn an alarm, flick it off, pick up your phone, start looking at emails and social media, that is not a great way to be spending your time. Successful people who are great spenders of their time, who really seem to get more out of their time, have a routine, a ritual in the morning, really conscious about how they spend those first moments of their day. It could be a 10-minute routine, and half an hour, an hour. Some people that I know have like a 3-hour morning routine, which they set themselves up for extraordinary success by having a process in place of how they use that time to best serve them. Looking at things like exercising, getting yourself invigorated, starting the day, meditation, focusing your mind. Perhaps it's journaling and clearing and using that as a process. Maybe it's things like, morning notes. We're just letting the nervous system and the mind free itself up. Whatever those practices are, set your morning up for success by choosing how you're going to spend that time. And part of that morning ritual should also be prioritizing your day, being really clear on what are the wins, what are the things that you want to get from the time of that day. What are your priorities? Set those first. Otherwise, that time is just going to be consumed by everybody else. Now, the second key, vital, wealthy time spending hack is get a grip on digital communication. I would say, if I'd even done this video a few years ago, I would have said get a grip on email. But now it's not just email. We have email, Viber, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, text messages, Instagram Messenger, and on and on and on and on and on and on it goes. You could spend your entire life just reacting and responding to these digital forms of communication. Now, all of these digital communication mechanisms are super convenient places for other people's agendas, not yours. It's really important to understand that most of the stuff that is coming into those platforms are not your priorities. They are not your agendas. Do not set your day up. Do not start with that, because you will literally be giving your time to everybody else's agendas. So have a mechanism, have a process for managing your time and managing digital communications. Now, I love this book. It's an oldie but a goodie, Getting Things Done by David Allen. Really fantastic hacks about productivity, effectiveness, and having a system of how you manage digital communications. I have a very structured framework, yes, some more rules to free me up and make sure that I use that time effectively. I look at emails twice a day. I have a communication channel. I use something called Slack with my team because my team's all virtual, and I look at Slack 4 times a day. Other communication channels like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, I choose which of those that I'm even going to look at, and you'll be amazed. People might try and use Facebook Messenger for me. They won't get hold of me. They'll soon learn if it's really important, they'll find another way. Because if you try and be available on every channel, you're never going to have time available to you. So choose those mechanisms and choose when you process those communications and have processes for that, how you manage your emails, how you manage your messages, so that you're also effective in those times. So that is hack number 2, manage digital communications in a way that serves you. So time hack number 3 is notifications. There is this extraordinary thing we have, again, in the digital world, whether it's your laptop, your desktop, your phone, your tablet. There's this extraordinary convenience that can put us in touch with the whole world. But it also can be the greatest thief of your time, your attention, and your ability to be effective. And notifications are one of the biggest rats in your time pantry, the things that will consume and destroy your ability to be effective with your time. I am talking about visual notifications where you get a pop-up that email has arrived, you've got a message. I'm talking about auditory notifications, bing, bing, brr, brr. Nothing worse, somebody's got their cell phone and their notifications are going off, whether it's their laptop, their tablet. Auditory notifications. Sensory notifications, a vibration. If you truly want to claim back your life and you want to be the master at the helm of your own ship, turn off your notifications. For many of you, you're going to go, but Anne, how am I going to know when I've got a message? How am I going to know when there's an email? How am I going to know when somebody's wanting to connect with me? You'll know because you will have a system to manage digital communications. This is the whole point. It's claiming back your agency. It's claiming back your sovereignty. It's making you and your priorities come first. Whereas most people are so reactive and responding, but this is the only way that I know that I'm important. Go into your digital devices, your laptop, your tablets, your phone, and turn off all notifications. I challenge you, do it for 1 week and tell me how it's performed for you. I do not have a single notification turned on any of my devices. Instead, I have processes around how I go and check for those communication channels in a time and a place that aligns and suits for me. I am not going to be a slave to a digital device, and neither should you. Your life is too precious. So turn off notifications. We're going radical on that one. And the final time hack is block off chunks of time and cluster activities and do like for like work. And this is really important. So another book I highly recommend is a book by Gary Keller called The One Thing. And it also debunks this whole myth around multitasking, that we can do all these multiple things. We absolutely can't. And for people to be truly effective is about focusing on one thing at a time. But more than that, the more we can cluster like for like activities, the more effective we are at them. So blocking off and chunking time into different kinds of activities and scheduling that is going to make you so much more effective and get so much more from the time. And I have 5 primary categories, and you're welcome to try these out for yourself. So my first category is blue sky thinking. This is strategy time. I block off and I'm very clear about when am I going to do strategy kind of high level planning for my business, for my life, for every aspect. When am I going to do my 90-day, my year look ahead? What are the overall goals? What are the things I'm wanting to achieve? What are the projects that I'm wanting to work on? Where am I working on the business and looking at what are the projects that I want to get involved in. This is that blue sky kind of time and thinking. And you can't do that kind of thinking straight off the bat of answering a whole bunch of emails. You're just not going to be effective. So first time category, blue sky strategic thinking. The second category I have is big creative time. Where do I create? This is my writing time. This is when I plan these videos. This is where I think about new content, when I do the creative input for programs like Financial Freedom University and Savvy Investor. Where am I thinking of new ways to serve you? Where am I also doing creative time in my own life? What is something that I want to express and explore? Creativity is super important. Chunk off time to be able to do the creative work. The third category is play. Super important. Are you blocking off time to go and play? That juicy living stuff, the stuff that has no objective outcome, but except to bring you joy, to connect you with life, to enliven you, to top up your batteries. You need to carve out playtime. So those are three. The fourth one is your administrative activities. This is the working on the business called your life and your business and your wealth. This is the admin. This is the looking at emails and messages and responding. This is doing the invoices. This is your money date time. This is seeing what's going on in your spend tracker. This is, putting your investments in place in your index tracker portfolio. This is contacting the handy person to come and rehang that picture that's fallen off the wall. This is called the business of the administration of your life. Doing your taxes. It's the necessary stuff that keeps the wheel of your life going. Chunk that together. If you've got a list of all of that kind of admin stuff and you chunk time off and do it all together, you're going to be amazed how much more effective you are in doing that together time. If you try and do creative, play, and admin time all together, all you're going to get is non-effectiveness in total. Now, I call this brown time, when we don't stick to our different type of chunking time. Why brown time? Well, when I first went off to nursery school and I started learning my colors and would get out a paint set, maybe you remember this well, you got this lovely fresh paint set and you had your blue and your red and your green and your yellow, all lovely and clear. And you got your paintbrush and you shoved it in the blue. You did a bit of sky. Then you got that paintbrush and you shoved it in the yellow, and okay, wasn't so yellow, a bit more like green, but hey, then you shoved it in the red. Before you knew it, all you had was dog poo brown on that painting. And that's what most people end up doing with their time. They muddle all of these things together, and that's all their time ends up being. This sort of this pile of dog poo, really not effective at all. And so the last chunk of time, so there's 5 categories that I have, is what I call buffer time. I factor in time when I can do catch up, and I can use that for any of the other 4 categories, for admin, for creative, for blue sky thinking, or for play if I'm a bit short on those. So this just lets me have overflow if I haven't allocated enough time in that. So hopefully those 4 juicy, wealthy time spender hacks are going to let you be far more effective and get more from this precious thing called your time. Because really at the end of the day, there's only 3 things that come together to create our wealthy life. It's our money and how we manage and consume it. It's our time and how we manage and consume it. And that's our energy and how we manage and consume it. And those 3 things together form the core elements of a rich, juicy, wealthy life. And those are the 3 things we need to be really conscious about. What are we doing with it? How are we bringing more of them in our life? How are we consuming them? And are we using them in a way that truly aligns to what is wealthy for us? So I'm Ann Wilson, and if you're watching this anywhere over there at thewealthchef.com, head on over there. And in the comments below the video, I would love to know which of those 4 money hacks you are going to implement in your life. Is it switching off your notifications? Is it managing digital communications better? Is it setting up a morning morning routine where you really structure your time and use that precious first setup in the most effective way? Or is it looking at chunking and blocking activities in, say, those 5 categories so you get more from your time and your focus and attention? I would love to know which of those that you are going to get stuck in and get working for you first. And remember, your wealthy life is created by habits done consistently over and over. So choose one, implement it in your life, and reap the benefits.